So I'd like to invite Dr. Muhammad Jamal حشمت to the podium, and I'll engage in translating for his presentation.
تحياتنا هي السلام عليكم.
Greetings and assalamu alaikum, so that's easy.
My name is Dr. Jamal Hashmat, Professor of Medicine at Alexandria University, member on the Egyptian Parliament since the year 2000, and member of High Committee of FG Party. Thank you for sharing, thank you for attendance, and I prefer to speak in Arabic, please. بداية أشكر جامعة بركلي، جامعة الثوار والأحرار في أمريكا، وكل المراكز المتخصصة التي شاركت في دعوتنا إلى هذا اللقاء.
First thing, he would like to thank the University of Berkeley for the invitation and a center or a board of liberation and struggle, and he also thanks all those who are freedom-loving that are coming and listening to his presentation.
كلمتي ستتركز عن لماذا وكيف حدث الانقلاب العسكري وما دور العسكر في مصر.
His presentation will focus on why and how the military coup took place and the consequences of the coup.
في عام 52 قام انقلاب عسكري انضم إليه الشعب المصري أملا في حرية وتنمية حقيقية بعد أن عانى من مجتمع النصف في النهاية.
In 1952, there was a military revolution that took place that the Egyptian people rallied and supported after they've been for a long time sidelined and not being part of the political dynamics in the society.
في نهج العسكر تم التخلص من كل من شارك في إنجاح الثورة.
In the approach of the military, they removed anyone that participated or had a hand in the revolution.
من أعطى الشرعية الشعبية للإخوان قامت لهم مذابح. من منحهم الشرعية الشعبية أقاموا له مذابح في 55 و 65.
Who gave the military the legitimacy, the brotherhood who gave the legitimacy, they were subject to massacre and complete violent crackdown.
من أعطاهم الشرعية القانونية المستشار عبد الرازق السنوري تم ضربه بالأحذية في مجلس الدولة.
Who gave them the legal legitimacy, Abdurrahman Sanuri, they ended up beating him with shoes in Egypt.
من قدمهم إلى المجتمع الدولي تم حبسه الفريق محمد نجيب لمدة 20 سنة في فيلا وحده دون أسرته.
The person who introduced him to the world community, Muhammad Najib, was imprisoned in a villa for 20 years after the 1952 revolution.
وحكم العسكر من خلف ستار حتى جاء السادات.
And the military ruled from behind the veil until Sadat came to power.
تخلص أيضا من زملائه كما فعل عبد الناصر.
And he got rid of his companions or colleagues like what Abdel Nasser did before him.
وجاءت حرب أكتوبر وما تلاها حتى تمكن العسكر من السيطرة على مفاصل مصر.
And then the 1973 War of October came upon it, and then the military was able to take control of all the pillars of power in Egypt.
وتم إنشاء مؤسسة اقتصادية للعسكر بدأت ب 300 مليون دولار وصلت إلى أكثر من 17 مليار دولار حتى الآن في بعض الروايات.
And then an economic institution was created for the military within Egypt that initially had $300 million budget, and now it reaches to about $17 billion budget.
وهم مسيطرون على 40% من الاقتصاد المصري.
And they control about 40% of the Egyptian economy.
جاء مبارك وتم العمل على تجريف مصر من ثروتها وقيمها وإرادتها.
And then Mubarak came and he emptied or erased from Egypt any of its revolutionary principles and values in its totality.
استمر في الحكم 30 عاما، زاد الفقر وتضخم الفساد واستشرى الاستبداد.
He ruled for 30 years that the poverty level, the desperation, and the corruption was multiplied many folds.
تكونت دولة بوليسية تأمر وتنهي في كل مناحي الحياة.
A police state was established that ruled in affirmative and in negation in every part of the society.
وذاق الشعب بهذا الثلاثي الفساد والاستبداد والظلم الذي كان نتيجته فقرا حتميا.
And the people tasted the trilogy of poverty, oppression, and lack of freedom for a prolonged period of time.
ضاعت كرامة الإنسان وافتقد الحريات والعالم كله يدعى مبارك.
The human being lost his dignity and lost his freedom while the world community continued to support Mubarak.
من أجل ما يسمى الاستقرار والأمن في المنطقة.
From the point of view or for the purpose of having stability and access to the region.
وكل حجم الإنفاق الذي أنفقته أمريكا لهذا الغرض كان يذهب لقمع الشعوب وتركيعها.
And all that which the United States have spent went to suppression, domination, and control of the populations.
وجعل الشعوب تزداد غضبها من الولايات المتحدة التي تنفق أموال شعبها لدعم الدكتاتوريات وخنق الحريات وقتل الشعوب.
And this resulted in the anger and dissatisfaction with the United States because the money or the resources that are given to these regimes went to suppress the population.
ثار الشعب المصري على كل هذا في 25 يناير 2011.
As a result of this, the Egyptian population revolted against these principles January 25th, 2011.
ورفع شعاره المعروف عيش حرية عدالة اجتماعية كرامة إنسانية.
And they raised the banners of عيش, meaning living, dignity,
bread.
عيش was bread as well as life. So life, dignity, freedom, and the last one?
كرامة إنسانية.
And كرامة إنسانية, dignity of a human being.
ومرت الأحداث بعد أن سقط رأس النظام بينما لم يسقط النظام نفسه.
And the events and circumstances accelerated and developed, so the head of the regime fell, but the structure did not fall.
وبدأ التخطيط لعودة النظام.
And the planning for returning back the structure or the system in earnest began to be planned for.
بأحداث دامية.
With bloody events and bloody actions.
كان للجميع أخطاء في استيعابها وفهم حقيقتها.
And many had faults or errors in understanding and comprehending its consequences.
في النهاية كان الدور للعسكر وللأجهزة الأمنية واضحا.
And at the end, it was clear the role of the military and the police in the events that transpired.
بدعم أو بصمت العالم.
With the support or the silence of the world.
وهي من الأخطاء أيضا التي ارتكبت في هذا الوقت.
And it is also from the mistakes and errors that were committed at this time.
صار الوضع في مصر كالآتي.
The situation in Egypt became like the following.
قائد عسكري انقلب على رئيسه المنتخب.
A military commander that overthrew his elected president.
وسرق مصر بلا شرعية.
And he stole Egypt without any legitimacy.
وخدع الكثيرين بكلام كاذب.
And he tricked or deceived people with a falsified media.
لأي منكم أن يتابعوا حتى هذه اللحظة ما زال إعلاما كاذبا بجوه الحقيقة ويحرض على العنف.
Any one of you who could observe or watch the media can realize the distortions and the falsification to the truth or to the just representation that is prevalent in the media.
وآلة عسكرية لأول مرة تقتل في شعبها في شوارع وميادين مصر.
And it is for the first time that a military machine is killing its own people in the streets and the alleyways of Egypt.
وهو ما أدانته مؤسسات حقوقية عالمية.
And it is what was condemned by international human rights agencies and international respectable bodies.
واعتبر هذا جريمة في حق الإنسانية وجريمة إبادة جماعية.
This was considered as a crime against humanity and a crime of genocide.
فعلوا ذلك تحت مسمى مكافحة الإرهاب.
And they have undertaken this action under the rubric of fighting or resisting terrorism.
ليصور نفسه للعالم أنه حمى مصر وكان مدافعا عن حقوق الإنسان وهو منتهكا.
To project himself as the one who is defending human rights and protecting Egypt, even though that the rights and the standings of people were completely violated.
كأنه دافع عن الديمقراطية بينما هو الذي انقلب عليها.
To appear that he is defending democracy while he is actually overthrew democratic process.
عن الحريات وهو الذي عصف بها.
On freedoms, and he is the one that completely wiped it out like a wind in relations to the country.
بل نقول أنه هو من يدعم الإرهاب في المنطقة.
Now we can actually assert that he is the one that is supporting terrorism in the region.
بعنفه وقتله المتظاهرين السلميين طوال عام ونصف.
With his violence and his crackdown of the peaceful protesters over the past, from the time of the revolution till now.
تحرك العالم 22 أوكرانيا قتلوا بينما لم يتحرك ل 4000 قتلوا في 6 ساعات.
The world public opinion, the world opinion or leadership have mobilized for the death of 22 in Ukraine, but they have not mobilized nor responded to the killing of 4,000 in Egypt.
هذه المظاهرات السلمية في مصر.
These are the peaceful protests in Egypt.
هذه المحرقة.
This is the burning of people.
هؤلاء هم شباب مصر.
These are the young or youth of Egypt.
هؤلاء هم الشهداء وهذه قوائم الأسماء.
These are the martyrs and these are the names of those who were martyrs.
What publication, please?
Human Rights Watch.
ما اسم هذه المنشور?
Human Rights Watch.
Human rights.
This is the publication from Human Rights Watch, so you could access it online. It's available as a report on what took place and transpired in Egypt.
هذه أيضا قوات الأمن في دورها في التعامل مع المصريين في تظاهرات سلمية.
These are the actions of the police or military forces in its treatment and interaction with peaceful protesters.
هذا هو من يكافح الإرهاب.
These are the ones that supposedly are challenging or confronting terrorism.
هؤلاء هم شباب مصر.
These are the youth and the young people or the young men of
الذي
Egypt,
ادعى أنه يكافح الإرهاب.
that he claims that he is countering terrorism.
هذه إرهابية أسماء البلتاكي وهذه معاملة الفتيات في مصر.
This is supposedly a terrorist woman, what's her name?
أسماء.
Asma Taji, and these are supposedly individuals that are terrorists.
استكمالا للوضع في مصر مأساتنا أننا أمام شعب ذاق طعم الحرية ولن يقبل بها بديلا.
Our conditions or circumstances today in Egypt is that it's a people or population that have tasted the taste of freedom but have not yet experienced the full articulation of freedom.
كسر حاجز الخوف بحيث أنه لا يأبه لآلة القتل في الشوارع يوميا الآن.
It has broken the psychological barrier of fear, that it no longer fears death in the streets in front or confronting the military or the violent machinery of the state.
جعل خياره الاستراتيجي استمرار الثورة الشعبية السلمية.
He made strategic decisions of a continuation of the peaceful revolution in the streets.
لا مفر عن كونها ثورة.
There is no escape from it being a revolution.
ولا مفر عن كونها شعبية.
And there is no escape from it being a popular revolution.
يزداد عددها كل يوم بينما يتفكك محور الشر.
Its numbers increases on a daily basis while the evil networking is breaking down.
بعد أن عرف حقيقة ما تم من خداع وخيانة.
After it have understood and learned what was done in terms of deception and planning against it.
وأنها ضرورة لأمال الشعب المصري في الحرية والديمقراطية وحقوق الإنسان.
And it is a necessity for the Egyptian people for democracy, human rights and dignity for it to continue.
لا مفر عن كونها سلمية أيضا.
There is no escape from it being a peaceful one.
لأنها ثورة شعب ضد نظام قمعي.
because it is a revolution of a people against an oppressive regime.
خان الشرعية وخان الوطن.
He had committed treachery against the country and against the legitimacy.
وضحك على العالم وقال أنه يكافح الإرهاب في مصر.
And he laughed snarkily on the world, saying that he is fighting or countering terrorism.
إذا هي ثورة شعب لا ميليشيات مسلحة كما يدعي أو كما يدفع إليها السيسي.
It is a peaceful revolution, not a militarized